I believe you.
It's not your fault.
I'm here for you.
You're safe now.
You didn't deserve what happened to you.
Hi, my name is Sharani and I'm the founder of the White Hatters, an NGO based in Singapore. We look to issues that promote social cohesion and also responsible advocacy and activism. Currently, we're heading a campaign called A Holding Space, which is a campaign against sexual abuse. And we felt that this is an issue that needs to be discussed publicly. And it's also a campaign that we want to communicate to the members of the public, particularly the victims and survivors of sexual abuse, that you are not alone, that you are not to be blamed for what happened to you, and that there are resources available to help you in your recovery journey.
Oh, hi, my name is Elizabeth. I'm a sexual abuse survivor. So my role, I am a sexual abuse survivor. So in the campaign, there's a Facebook Live event where I get to share my story with other people, and basically to model sharing, to realize that there's power in being able to share my story and to be able to use my story to encourage other people to speak out and to facilitate change.
Interestingly enough, actually it was over a conversation because we are also heading another campaign that looks to end domestic violence, and it was during the discussion among friends that I realized that domestic violence also includes child abuse, and we started talking about child abuse. And then a few of them actually came forward to tell me that they were victims of sexual abuse. And then we got intrigued and we started talking more about it. And therefore, we wanted to communicate the message and to empower survivors to come forward and seek the help that they need.
I was 18 when I met my abuser. And I met him in a church community. He was the leader in my church community. And we started off very innocently, so every weekend I would go out with him and his wife to pray, and after that we would chat about our lives. And with his wife's permission, he started meeting me on weekdays too to pray. So the whole idea was to pray together and grow in our spiritual faith together. But one day he grabbed my hand and he said, "You caused me to fall in love with you. So now it's your fault and you cannot leave the relationship." And I tried to tell him, you know what, I only loved him as a brother, and he wouldn't listen. So that started a series, the whole cycle of sexual abuse. I told him to stop, but he didn't. And I didn't react, I just froze. I was frozen. And after the entire thing was over, he came to his senses and he went, "Oh crap, I just kind of raped you." And he said, "There's the security guard, you can go tell him about the rape and report me." But then I thought I should be the good Christian. I told him it's okay, I forgive you, and just don't ever do it again. But the digital penetration occurred for another 2 or 3 times. So the relationship ended 3 years, 3.5 years later, where his conscience got the better of him and he let me go. But so after that, I basically immersed myself in my work, and for 5 years, I pretended it didn't exist. It didn't happen at all. But as with all traumatic memories, it surfaces.
The webinar launched a campaign, and on that day itself, aside from having subject matter experts to talk about various issues, we had survivors, we had a psychologist, we had a lawyer and an advocate to give their different perspective. We also offered free online counseling for those who really need it. And also we worked with the Law Society Pro Bono Services to offer free legal consultation for survivors or friends or family members of survivors to seek the legal recourse and just kind of know what the options are.
Through the campaign, we just want to create awareness. And I really think that there needs to be a lot more first responder training for people in power, because we respect them, we go to them for help. I know a lot of victims who go to their priests, their pastors, their imams for help. And we need to know how to respond sensitively. I hope that the campaign will change the view of rape and sexual abuse in a way that is no longer a taboo topic, that they can freely talk about it, and when they talk about it, they will be believed in, they will be supported, and they will be held.
I hope to get more survivors to come forward to tell their stories, because I think when you tell your story, only if you're ready, that's when you own it. And when you own that story, you're actually taking control and taking charge back to your life. But we are also cognizant of the fact that not everybody likes to talk. So we want to advocate for the survivors to reach out for help. Aside from counseling, there are other therapies involved. You know, talking is not the only way to heal. We want to be able to see more people, particularly women, supporting each other, to give them the strength and the support to go through this journey. So we hope to see a lot more ground-up initiative like support groups, or even befriender services, or even small-scale talks to come out from this. Because I think the more we talk about this issue, the more we can actually do our part to prevent it.
To all sexual abuse survivors, it's not your fault. Whatever happened, it wasn't your fault. You were vulnerable, and he exploited that vulnerability. You don't need to tell your story. You can take all the time you need to recover. I hope one day you will feel strong enough to tell your story, but you don't need to pressure yourself, you don't need to force yourself. Tell as much of the story as you want to tell. Tell as little of the story as you want to tell. Tell it when you're ready to tell. Nobody can tell you otherwise. But healing is possible. I've been through hell and back. And I live to tell the story.